and gentlemen, welcome back to the All-American Savage Show podcast. I'm your host, John Burke, here with my beautiful heterosexual bearded life partner who has returned to us from his vacation. Glad you're back. Not like I missed you or anything.
Good to be back, buddy.
I can't fucking stand you.
Good to be back.
I don't know why I give a shit. Yeah, well. Josh has returned, hence why the program is probably going to flow much smoother, because when it's me like trying to operate these controls like a monkey trying to fuck a football, it's ridiculous. It's just too much moving at the same token or at the same time, and I can't control it all. So glad Josh is back. Hey.
It's good to be back, buddy.
A lot of stuff in the news. Trump potentially being arrested, calling for protests, the stuff with China, the Hunter Bidens. It's just there's so much going on right now. And it can also feel like very high tempo. It can feel like there's just a lot to have to address, I guess. And that's why Shell Shock is perfect. You know, CBD oil to help you relax, take the edge off, take some Delta 8, microdose a little bit so where you just don't give a fuck too much about a lot of this stuff, because it's just, the world will go on. It will continue. Our society will continue, whether or not you believe that or not. It will continue, I promise. But there's a lot of stuff in the news right now. I mean, fucking Crowder's live over on Raw. There's a lot of people live right now talking about this Trump arrest. And I don't know the positions they're taking because, again, I don't consume their content. It's just not something I ever do because I feel like when you do that, you're not going to be authentic to yourself. You're going to potentially be like somebody else, which is not what you should want to do as a content creator. But I'm noticing, we're just going to jump right into it. Trump had made a post on Truth Social calling for people to protest. Okay, calling for people to protest his pending arrest. Well, the thing that I'm confused about is like, this is a New York DA. Trump lives in Florida. What are we concerned about here? Now, again, if he goes back to New York, they're going to try and prosecute. They're going to issue a warrant. They're going to try and pick him up. But if he's in Florida, okay. But even still, this is a DA trying to make a name for himself. This is some bullshit. This is related to the Stormy Daniels issue. It's like, oh my God, like you're going after this guy for this. Like, this is clearly a political bias. But the issue that I take, quite honestly, is when Trump is talking about go out there and protest. Like, look, dude, I'm just going to be real with people here. You are getting yourself into a situation that Trump has created for himself. This whole Stormy Daniels thing, he fucked her. We know he fucked her. Okay? This is a part of Trump that we should have no business with. Like, bro, this is what you created. You put yourself in this situation. You stuck your dick in that crazy. This is your problem now. This is not your followers' problems. Folks, if you're going to go out there and protest, which is your right to do, you better be prepared because there will be feds on the ground. They're waiting for a January 6 2.0. And I'm going to hit you with some real truths. It's a Monday. It's early in the morning. We're going to just get started right off the bat. What the fuck has Trump done for the January 6 prisoners? Realistically speaking, what has he really done? Marjorie Taylor Greene campaigns harder on getting them out and bringing their causes to light than Trump does. Trump does not give one flying fuck about you. That has been proven. And this is not me trying to attack Trump to be pro DeSantis. This is me saying this is what it is. This is the situation. If you want to protest, fine. But you better be careful because they've locked people up for January 6th. And I don't blame Trump for January 6th, but we are living in a banana republic right now. The judicial system is not fair and balanced. It is not. They will prosecute for bullshit charges. There are still people in solitary confinement from January 6th awaiting trial. It's ridiculous. Their rights have clearly been subverted. But what has Trump done about it? Oh, what can he do? This dude should be pounding the fucking drum saying, get them out. This is wrong. But instead, not so much.
At least at the bare minimum, set up some kind of a GoFundMe, right? For attorneys or keeping eyes on it, right?
And I'm not saying that it's Trump's fault, but I do believe that when I watched that series that Alex Jones hosted, Yee and the rest of those retards, that one Ali Asaline dude, I forget what his name is, he had a point. He was kind of like, where's Trump? It's like, these were your foot soldiers and you've left them. Where are you at? Because people like Milo and the rest of them, they were Trump loyalists, or I would say Trump loyalists to a degree, but at the same token, you know, they kind of dug themselves into a hole on their own. But even still, Trump was nowhere to be found. Yeah, He's not going to associate himself with anything that could tarnish him. Hence the fact that he even had dinner, you know, that staged dinner. I think Milo basically made that happen to get a little stab at Trump. It's like Trump's not going to associate himself with something that is very dark like that. So, you know, I read that. I read the post on Truth Social. It's like, we need to protest. Like, no, dude, this is your problem. This is a Trump problem. You created this. You gave them this ammunition by you doing something stupid. I'm not going to put my life. I cannot. This is the situation we face now. There are everyday blue collar workers that are so diehard Trump loyalists, Trump cultists, that they are going to drive across the nation to attend this protest. And some of you are going to get violent, and you're going to get arrested, and you're going to spend some time in prison. For what? Here's the thing. Do you really think Trump's going to see a day in jail? Fuck no.
Do you really think those guys are violent protesters, though?
No, I think initially no. But
like
I mean, you look
Trump
at people
supporters?
like Ashley Babbitt, who I don't think she was violent.
No, I don't think any of them
groups
were.
But I think groups of people, when instigated by feds, tend to get violent, could get violent.
Yeah, that's where I don't think they were violent. I think they were going there to protest. And
I'm not saying.
I think they were stupid
Yeah.
to enter the Capitol.
Absolutely, yes.
So,
yeah. Do I think they were there to get violent? No.
Yeah, I don't think they were being.
No.
I mean,
if they were, we would have known it. Like
Yeah.
instead, that was kind of like the police were opening up the gates versus them just crashing through.
Yeah.
But still, there are instigators. There are people in those groups that, if you do not control them, they will lead the group. Because you have to look at it like when you're in a group environment, critical thinking kind of goes out the window for a lot of people versus like, you know, if like we talked about earlier, if you and I were in that group, would we have gone in? It's like, fuck no, absolutely not. Like even seeing this, like, remember when we were streaming it on Twitch, like, don't do it. Don't go in there. It's like, it's going to be bad. Like you might feel like it's justified in the heat of the moment. The law says differently.
Yeah.
But at the same token, I think the same thing could happen with this Trump protest. If this even still happens, you just better watch yourself because ultimately, I'm going to tell you this right now. You people, you're gonna find out very quickly that dude does not give a flying fuck about you. But you are willing to sacrifice everything for him. How is that not resonating in your head as this does not make sense? This is a politician. Whether you like it or not, Trump is a politician. By virtue, I mean, he's technically a politician. He is. Yeah. He was the president. He's a politician. And if you think that he's going to give a flying fuck while you sit there and rot, you're out of your mind. He's already proven that. Now, you can support and vote Trump on a lot of stuff he does, but his personal issues, I have does not concern me. You're not getting me to protest for you. Abso-fucking-lutely not, because realistically, I will say, what have you done for me? Have you donated to anything? Like, no, you've done nothing for me. Granted, he was good as, you know, we talked about his policies were great, his tax cuts were great, but this is a whole different ball of wax. And people they can't separate that. And I'm sitting there, it's like, this has of course, you know, this does have some political, because this DA in New York, this is clearly a bias hit job. They're making this personal.
Obviously.
But with that being said, had Trump not suck his dick and crazy, they would have nothing. So this is a Trump issue that is being exacerbated because of his political prowess or political spotlight, if you will.
To be fair, he said he didn't have any contact with the woman. I mean, we could sit here and say probably is he lying?
He fucked
probably,
her, yeah,
but
come on.
He was never found guilty of like having sex with her, right?
Yeah, they settled out
of
court.
And so now Avenatti's in jail.
Yep.
Stormy Daniels is suing Avenatti.
Yep.
For what, $300,000, $400,000?
I think Trump sued Stormy and she lost. I think
she owes him like $300,000. Yeah. So I mean, he's been vindicated of that whole thing.
True, but we're talking about
they hammered that.
Yeah,
for like what, 2 solid years.
That was a we got him moment. They never got
nonstop.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't have sex with her. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Josh,
if I had to put money on it, I would probably he did. But
yeah, absolutely.
You know, is it?
Bro,
do I care? No, not even a little bit.
Even the leaked footage of him doing the whole grab by the pussy, it's like he's being truthful. He's being honest about that.
He's being honest. If you're a rich, successful billionaire,
do whatever the fuck you want.
And women will let you do it. And that's been his experience. They're
called whores. That's what Stormy Daniels is. She's a whore. So yes, naturally. So that's why people are kind of like pearl clutching. Oh my God, he had sex with a porn star. Well, he was married.
Bill Clinton was getting blowjobs in the Oval Office.
Have you seen who he was married to? Oh God, I would turn gay after that.
Dude, if you ever read the, I can't remember the Secret Service agent's name, but he was on that detail, and he was in his book. He talked about how they would have to take these wash rags with lipstick, and so after he was done getting a blowjob, he'd wipe himself off and throw it in the trash, and these Secret Service agents were disposing of them.
Oh my God.
So obviously they don't want to.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the book was really good. He was like, this guy really didn't want Hillary Clinton to be president. I mean, his book, I can't remember what his name was, but the book was good.
You told me about that, that he was giving testimony that she was a royal cunt. She was just a piece of shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
well, if you're a gay woman, I mean, she's going to love you.
But nobody seemed to care. I mean, it lasted they started a movement called MoveOn.org.
Yeah.
That was them. Yeah. Move on. Okay, he got a blowjob. Yeah. Move on.
So what?
But they hammered Trump for 2 solid years
when he wasn't even president. Yeah. By the way, but the same token, I think for them it's a whole adultery thing. It's like, yeah, I get that, but even still, I don't care about his personal life. I care about his political. Like, what can he do to what can he do for me?
Right.
Like, how are you going to save me money? What you want to do, who you want to stick your dick in, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Because, I think he got the shaft in his presidency.
Yes.
He got screwed out of the 2020 election.
I'll give you that one, yes.
So my vote's still going for Trump. I mean, I'm
sorry, if DeSantis, we talked about if DeSantis throws his hat in the ring, I'm going DeSantis. I think apparently DeSantis has made a statement. I did not know about this until prior to the show. Josh brought it up. Can we find that statement from DeSantis? Well, basically paraphrasing, what did DeSantis say?
It was basically Trump was a citizen of Florida and that he wasn't going to allow Trump to be extradited back up to New York for some political motivated
and that's
arrest.
Honestly, that is the right thing for DeSantis to have done.
He's a sharp guy.
DeSantis knows be the bigger man. Do not hang Trump out to dry because now, and here's the thing, and this is why the Trump Influencer Network, I call these people tins, the Trump Influencer Network, they're going to attack DeSantis regardless. And this is the difference, or this is why these Republican influencers, these grifters, are no different than liberals. Because of what DeSantis is going to do, these influencers are still going to find fault in DeSantis. Matter of fact, Donald Trump Jr. on True Social, this guy's a fucking idiot. I'm just kind of like, I can't believe he would say this. Let me find it real quick. I think I did a screenshot of it. Yeah. DeSantis talking about, basically saying will have nothing to do with the potential extradition, says he won't get involved in manufactured circus-related potential, blah, blah, blah. Is that what he said? Because they're saying that's not what DeSantis said. They're saying DeSantis is like, he's not getting involved.
Is that what?
We have to
go
get that.
Back and look at it. I thought I saw it on Twitter.
But Donald Trump Jr. is going after DeSantis still. He says, so DeSantis thinks that Dems weaponized the law to indict President Trump as a manufactured circus and it isn't a real issue. Well, let's be honest. It's not. This is a circus. This is bullshit. Where's he wrong on that? You don't like it because it's your dad. I get it. Do you think, here's the other thing. This is what people don't realize. Trump's going to be arrested. He will not spend a day in jail and it will not stop him from running for president. He can still run. People don't get that. This is a Stormy Daniels bullshit. If anything, they're going to fingerprint him, put him on the books, and he's going to walk out the same fucking day. The same fucking day. Gary, he's not going to spend a day in jail.
They're not going to fingerprint that guy. They're not going to perp walk him.
They're trying to, because that's what the DA wants. It's literally just about perspective, just the hoopla, the optics. Thank you. Yes, that's all, because they know they've got nothing on this guy. It was a misdemeanor, and they're trying to bump it up to a fucking federal charge. Like, are you kidding me with this? But still, this is a circus. Donald Trump Jr. can get mad. This is a circus. This is bullshit. And DeSantis is saying, I've got bigger fish to fry than to deal with this bullshit. If that's what DeSantis said, which I agree. But at the same token, DeSantis could also be like, hey, I'm not going to extradite this guy because this is bullshit, but I'm moving on. MoveOn.org. He's not wrong. This is Trump. Trump did this to himself. But for DeSantis, the high road, take the high road. If you can, take the high road. Do not take, because here's the deal. Like I said, these influencers, they're no different than liberals. DeSantis could go out there and say, oh, well, I've got the smoking gun. Trump's actually innocent. And they will still hate him because they are Trump loyalists. That's the issue. That's the issue there. And that's why, like I said, they're no different than liberals. And you've got to watch these grifters because they're not honest. They don't give a fuck about the truth. It's about, I get paid. I have to represent this guy no matter what he does. No matter what he does.
Yeah, it says, this was, I don't know, within the last couple hours, but it says DeSantis calls the potential Trump indictment an example of pursuing a political agenda for weaponizing the office by a Soros-funded prosecutor.
He's not wrong. Yeah. He's not wrong on that. He's 100% right. But again, I saw that one, who are those two brothers on Twitter that are douchebags?
The Crap Their Pants brothers?
Oh my God. You see that one of them literally tweeted, and he's combating George Soros, a Holocaust survivor.
He was a Nazi.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, you people are so stupid. They used the Holocaust. He sold his own. Like, are you kidding? This is how intellectually dishonest these people are. When I read that tweet, I was like, there's no way this is real. There is no way that it is fucking real.
They have to do it for the response.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Obviously.
Well, the Brooklyn Dad defied. That's why they tweet this shit, guys. Like, and I've told this.
For a reaction.
I try telling Amory, I tell everybody, it's like, stop engaging. It comes to a point where it's like, you can argue certain things before, or how they've progressed into Okay, they're just tweeting dumb shit. And it's like, they're clearly trying to get a response. Stop responding. Stop engaging. Unfollow. Don't engage with these people. Yeah. Because they know the more stupid shit they... Look at Laura Loomer. Half the shit she tweets is dumb as fuck. She's tweeting about this woman's knees. It's like, Laura, have you seen your nose? You're hideous. What the fuck are you talking about? You're going after this woman's knees. Look at your fucking face. But they do this. And this is something I wanted to talk about in regards to social media cancer. People do not respond to feel-good stories. They don't. You know what gets engagement? The negativity. So when people complain, they talk about like, oh, social media is just so negative. It's never, because consumers don't give a fuck about the feel-good stories. By and large, they do not. Because you know what gets engagement? Something that upsets them. You know what they see a hit like on? Something that kind of resonates with them that's a stab back at the other side. You know what they comment on? Shit that they want their voice to be heard on that's a very controversial topic. Because I'll post something good on my Instagram or Facebook, shit engagement. Not that it fucking matters, but I'm watching this because it kind of detects human behavior. You post something good, jack shit. You post something controversial, every motherfucker in the room's got an opinion. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's how you grow your audience. Because when you're engaging, they're sharing, they're commenting, it's getting in the algorithm. That's how you grow. So naturally, these platforms are built on negativity. That's what the fucking news is. Yeah. So until people start backing off that, it's not going to change. The only way to change that is to unplug. Unplug from it all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I just feel kind of like I just want to stick to the podcast because Instagram and Facebook, bro, it is fucking cancer. It is cancer. I can post something on my personal page, like my John Burke Facebook page, and this is how stupid people are. That I posted something, oh my God, and some dude's complaining on my page. My page is like, well, all you're posting is fucking gay tango videos. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
How dare you?
How dare you? I didn't realize my existence is to please you, who you don't even fucking pay me for that service. And that's why I don't take people like this. Like, you're fucking peasants. Go away. It's like, you don't pay me. I owe nothing to you. Bounce, clown. Fucking bounce. But that's how toxic social media is. Yeah. And this one woman comes to defending him. It's like, well, you know, you're not posting like you used to. Yes, because I get fucking banned, you stupid cunt. That's exactly why. And where are you motherfuckers? Are you sharing my content? Fuck no. You aren't doing a goddamn thing to help me. So don't you sit there and accuse me like they do of like, you're not posting how you used to. Because I've lost all my fucking platforms. All I've got left is like 12,000 followers on Instagram and a fucking podcast. Where are these other blue check motherfuckers? Where are the motherfuckers that I helped grow? They're nowhere to be found. So you'll forgive me if I'm not going to be as engaging and enticing on social media as I used to be. Because I'll be honest with you, what the fuck's the point? Where's Milo? Where are these other people? They get banned. Where's everybody helping them out? Well, I mean, Milo did it himself, to be honest with you.
I think he was a grifter from the start.
He's a big grifter, yeah. But I'm just like, you expect me to do what? And that's, you know, I've known this, though. So I'm not blaming anybody. This is just how it is. So they say, you're not posting like you used to. Yeah, because I've lost a couple million followers. Yeah. That's why. And I'm not getting it back.
It's a lot.
They fucking silenced me on social media. Thankful for Rumble for hosting this platform so we can actually say what the fuck we want to say. You're not posting like you used to. Have you seen the bans, you dumb fuck? Have you seen the bans? I'm lucky I've got a Twitter account that's still been up for like a month. Yeah. I don't know how the hell that's happened.
Even the YouTube channel was like, it was like 300,000, 320,000.
Yeah, something like that.
320,000.
Man, they pulled that.
Yanked it.
They fucking pulled that for medical misinformation. Yeah. I'm never getting that back.
Turns out Max still don't work.
And we were right. Queer. We're not getting that back. So the thing is, like, the point that I'm trying to make is, as somebody that has a podcast, whatever the case may be, number one, we're not in the good old boy system. Look at Rumble. Rumble's owned by Bongino, The Turning Point, all those groups. It's the good old boy system. Crowder just signed a massive deal with Rumble. He's going to get featured. He's got a lot of followers. And so he deserves it. I'm not knocking that. But like for people like me, I don't have backups. Crowder's got backups. We don't. That's just the difference. We're not that big. We're not nearly as big as Crowder is. And the reason that I feel like a lot of people will not grow within those certain communities because you're not echoing, you're not parroting the Turning Point voices. You're not parroting the bullshit out there, the propaganda. When you pull away from that type of stuff and you start thinking for yourself, they view you as very dangerous. They cannot control you. And if they can't control you, they don't want you to grow. So like I was telling Josh prior to this, where do independents go? Who's our group that helps grow us? I would love to work with other people to like grow our followings together to reach bigger audience, yada, yada, get the message out there. But fuck me, dude. They ban us left and right. And there isn't a single motherfucker out there. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, they don't share the content. And the other thing is, half the people, because I got like 30,000 followers on Facebook, the good chunk of them don't even see what I post because the shadow bans are so real. You can see the reach on the post. It's insane. Yeah. And I'm not going to pay. I refuse. I'm not Daily Wire. I don't sit there and claim to be against big tech and then pay them to use their fucking service. Sorry, I just won't do it. I think it's ridiculous. I pay Rumble. They host the stream. We get so many uploads and yada, yada, and I don't mind paying for that. There's a lot of shit that comes out of our pockets that we don't mind doing. But at the same token, I think, I'm all over the place today, but I think Crowder was kind of justified. Talked about Daily Wire, like, you're fucking hypocrites. You're hypocrites. You say that you want to fight big tech, but you're paying big tech. Isn't it interesting that Hershey comes out and then within like a week, they've got a chocolate company to counter it? It's like, interesting.
Yeah.
Where are you getting... Bro, have you seen how much they're charging?
Who? Daily Wire?
Yeah, for chocolate. For fucking chocolate.
No.
It's nuts. It's Jeremy's chocolate.
Yeah.
And you read the comments and people are like, fuck Hershey. You know there's alternatives, right? You don't have to go Daily Wire. But still, the fact is like, fuck Hershey. I'm going to go support Daily Wire to give you the middle finger to Hershey. Meanwhile, Daily Wire is fucking raking in the money. Like, they are profiting off. And I'm not against capitalism. But people in those comments like, I'm going to support you by buying your chocolate. I'm like, who fucking cares? They're a $1 billion company. But even still, it's just the manufactured outrage. It's just hilarious to me. And I can't knock them. Hey, man, do your thing. I don't blame you. But don't you sit there and say that you're against big tech and then you're paying them fucking millions. You're in bed with them. You're supporting them. You're enabling them, which I think Crowder was right on.
Yeah.
Weird to me, but I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. It's crazy.
They built their platform up.
Shapiro's
a smart guy.
I'm not
They've toured the
them,
country and put on shows and got in front of a lot of people and done all that shit. So.
Well, I mean, he's put it out there. I mean, I am not knocking their hustle whatsoever.
It's a grind,
but I do feel like there's a lot of that. It's like, really, are you doing this now? So it's like, I get it. But at the same token, it's like people fall for this hook, line, and sinker, and you want them to wake up. And it's like, why don't we have more voices? Like, because the groups are gatekeeping. They are gatekeeping like a motherfucker. They don't want any independent people in there, like, disrupting the system. It'd be like any independent, like, if somebody invited me to go to CPAC. I was like, I don't think I'm going to go. It's like, why? It's like, that's not my crowd. It's like, well, you're a Republican. It's like, I'm not. I was like, I just don't agree with Republicans anymore. I was like, there's just a lot I disagree with. And then if you look at the fucking candidates that we're churning out, it's like, it's a joke. It's a fucking joke. So when you say stuff like that, people get offended, and I get why, because their identity is tied to a political organization. When my message is, it shouldn't.
You really got to break free of that mindset of like, we're supporting your favorite sports team.
Yes, 100%.
It's not a sports team. These are people who are supposed to be working for you, doing a good job. And if they're not doing a good job, then they need to get fired. So
if they're bringing more drama, more bullshit, and they want you to get involved in there. I have a friend. I'm not going to call him out by name, and he knows who he is. But I've noticed something about him, and I'm going to use this as a reference, and I want you, the listener, to really think about this, okay? Just really think about this. That friend is prominent on social media. He's got a following. He's very well known. And anytime he's got some drama comes up, he always comes to me. And it took me a while before I started to understand why. Because I'm the attack dog. I don't fucking care. I don't care. Is that Jane a cunt? Janae, whatever fucking dumbass's name is. Anyway, the bald head or the fucking 5 head and the big fake tits, that's all her personality consists of. But anytime something was happening with her, he'd get me involved because I go attack. And now I'm kind of like, I've noticed anytime he has something to say, it's about some drama that he's got himself into. He wants to pull me into it.
Jump into it.
I see Trump doing the exact same thing. And I'm like, nope, that's your fight. That ain't my fight.
Yeah.
Because if you really think about it, when it comes to like the drama in my life, I don't have any. I don't interject myself into other people's drama unless it absolutely, I have to get involved. When I see people like Janae profiting and standing on the corpses of veterans to like build yourself a fake following, which is just ridiculous because the fact that you're standing on these dead bodies and yet you still have a bot following is hilarious to me. But I have a drama-free life. What they see on social media, John's gonna have a difficult, no, because as soon as I turn this shit off, I go home. And I don't give a fuck about any of it because you cannot let it affect you to that level. You have to separate it. But the sports team analogy, you're dead on the money. You are dead on the fucking money.
I think that's what Democrats have been, or politicians in general have been really good at doing is getting in tight with their constituents. And, although they don't do anything for them, and they're just like thieves, man. They go in there and they take and they take and they take. And
I
It's
was talking
it's
to
an
you.
abusive relationship if you think about it, because here you have Elizabeth Warren,
Yeah.
who's been in politics, I don't know, a majority of her life,
Yeah.
pretending to be an Indian, and then all of a sudden it comes out it finally admits she's not Indian,
And what happens?
they don't care.
don't give
They're
a
like,
fuck.
oh well, that's just Liz.
But if she was
crazy,
conservative-
crazy Uncle Joe, that's just him. He
They're
always
just
says
taking money from China. Not a big
he
deal.
always makes racist comments. That's
Yeah.
just Uncle Joe. Like he's not anybody's uncle. The guy's a pervert.
Yeah.
Probably a pedophile.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I mean,
Wouldn't fucking doubt
on the
it.
take, but he's not a nice guy. Like most of these people aren't nice people. They're just trying to take advantage.
Exactly.
All con men are nice
Yeah,
on face value,
absolutely.
but
They
deep
get
down,
you-
they're just
They
scumbags.
lower those guards,
Yeah.
and you're right. I mean, politicians know what they need to do. Because imagine, like say for example, how we view actors and musicians these
Yeah.
days. Back in Roman days, they were viewed as like you're peasant class. If you're an actor or musician, nobody gave a fuck about you. Didn't matter. Now, I mean, really, just push pause and think about this, folks. Somebody that pretends, they dress up, read lines, and act suddenly becomes experts on everything. The elite rich class of pretend people, or the people that pretend for a living, now have such power and weight and clout and influence, it's beyond me. Meanwhile, you've got intellectuals that are just cast aside.
Yeah.
Nobody listens to them. And I'm like, what kind of society? We deserve this. We've brought this on ourselves.
Yeah.
We have brought this on ourselves. And it's funny to me because you talk about like the team sports thing in the political spectrum. Here's a classic example. Crenshaw invited me to his birthday party in Houston this weekend. I was like, I got plans, man. I appreciate it. Well, apparently Donut Operator went. And I know Donut. He's a good dude. And Donut posted a clip of it on his Instagram. And my buddy sent it. I don't follow anybody. And my buddy sent it to me. I was like, I can already tell you he's getting crucified in the comments, isn't he? He's like, yep. So I went and looked, and sure as shit, fuck Dan Crenshaw, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, bro, people cannot separate the two. Like, I want to like Dan. Dan, I think, is a good dude. I do. His politics, I do not agree with. Is a good dude, I think.
Do you think once you get into politics, obviously he was a good soldier, right?
Well, here's the other thing. I don't know. But that's
we
your
get his-
vision, your perspective
Right.
versus mine. Because mine, I've been in that area, so I know you don't know what to think because
Yeah.
you've never been in that. So yes, from
Civilian.
your perspective, oh, he's a great SEAL. Mine's, I don't know. What do the guys he served with say?
Right.
Just by virtue of saying SEAL.
But like once he gets into politics, so he puts his name on the
Yeah.
ticket, runs, knocks on doors, does the debates and all that stuff. He's a sharp guy. You can listen to him.
Oh yeah, he's very intelligent.
I've watched some of his Instagram videos.
Yeah.
But do you think once he got in there, it was
Now you got to
like
play the game.
now you got to play the game? And
There
so
is a
now you
certain
got to
level
make
of
these
that,
friends.
yes.
Where
There is a certain degree to that, yes, but without compromising
Yeah.
constitutionally protected rights. He should never have. I get, and this is what people will not listen to. They will stonewall you when you bring this up. And I understood where Crenshaw was coming from. Crenshaw went in there. He went into the office with the idea of trying to unite the parties, saying we should have some conversations about this. But what Crenshaw had to learn very quickly, because he was not fluent with social media. I mean, I should have been this dude's PR guy. I'm like, when he said that, I was like, no, you never do that. You never concede any ground just for the appearance of finding some middle grounds. Because we've already seen time and time again, when you give liberals an inch when it comes to the Second Amendment, they will always take a mile.
Yeah.
You cannot concede jack shit. Crenshaw, I think, went in there with this idea of wanting to try and bridge the divide and unite America. It's like, bro, maybe on a different issue, but not the Second Amendment. But then he, I kind of saw him go in that direction. People lost a lot of faith in him. Then he went pro-Ukraine, or he went pro-troops remaining in Afghanistan. I know where he's coming from. I get where he's coming from. You do have to have boots on the ground to watch what's going on. But there comes a point where you say, enough is enough, because the only reason you got boots on ground is to action something in the future. We need nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Get out. Close it down.
Yeah.
But his support in Ukraine, it's like, bro, I want to like I said, I've had conversation with the guy, but it's like, your politics are garbage. They are hot fucking garbage. Anyway, going back to the whole sports class, I saw Donut's post. I was like, sure as shit, bro. They're fucking roast him in the comments.
Yeah.
And then Donut's just hitting him back. It's like, fuck you, I do what I want. And he's right. He's right. But that's not one of those things that I'm going to go to. It's like, Dan, I was like, I like you. It's like, I got plans, and I really did have plans. It was like, I'm not driving all the way down to Houston for this. And Brad Paisley headlining. I don't fucking like Brad Paisley. I think he's an idiot, honestly. Just pro-Ukraine songs. Like, it's the same as Toby Keith jumping on the fucking American soldier. Brad Paisley's got some fucking gay little song. Support Ukraine. Let's go fight, bitch. Go play a USO show over those cocksuckers. So. But no, the divisiveness of the team sports and the political arena, that's what's led us to where we're at now. And Trump capitalizes on that. It's not just Trump. Every politician does that. And you're smart to, because that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
It creates the further divide, but that divide, those people are yours. They're your supporters. But that's the problem with people like us. It's kind of like, I am not your supporter.
Yeah.
I just want you to do what's best for me and leave me the fuck alone.
It was after Bush's, I guess, second term.
Yeah.
I was still, relatively young.
Yeah.
I'm like, these guys say the exact same thing.
Yes.
At the end of their term.
Yeah.
To get more votes.
Yes.
So at the end of his first term, he was talking about securing the border, doing this, lowering tax, and all this other stuff. Never did it.
Now, I will give Trump did. He tried. Did. He fought rhinos. He fought them. So it's not so when people say
that's why you could look at that guy's resume and be like, okay, you might not like him personally.
Yes.
He probably did fuck Stormy Daniels and a slew of other women.
And that I don't care about.
I don't care about that. But what he did come in and do is he did his best to get the wall built on the southern border, and he fought the Democrats and most Republicans his entire term, as well as the media.
Well, I would say, I wouldn't say the entire term. He won Republicans, though. He didn't win them over. They got forced because the constituency base of Republicans are like, either you support Trump or you're fucking done. Yeah. Now that Trump, and this is how bloodthirsty politicians are. He had the Midas
touch to where he could say, you want to vote this guy, and now it's kind of leveled out where you can be not all Trump's picks are
Before that,
picks.
though, it's kind of like you look at Trump 2019, excuse me, or just now, for example. Let's just talk about now. Especially in 2022 when he's talking about he's already made his announcement to run, or 2023 rather, excuse me. You talk about how, like, back during the Renaissance era, if there was ever any perception of a weak leader, your enemies would jump all over it. This is not something that's just historical. This is something that's happening now. Putin jumped on Ukraine because of Biden's weakness. We know this.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Neocons, Republicans like McConnell and the rest of these douchebags, they saw Trump weakening. They saw his base weakening. So what did the neocons do? They united, and they went back out against him because they saw back in 2016, if you go against Trump after he's won that presidency, it's career suicide. You're done. Because the Trump cult grew so quickly, so fast. And I'm not saying this in the context of right versus wrong. It just is what it is. And I'm looking at it from a National Geographic, like we're breaking it down together. But seeing that and how those politicians would not go, or those Republicans primarily, would not go against Trump, then come 2022, flipped on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Bro, regardless of what I think about Trump, I hate them more. You are literally, you change with the tide. You have no balls to stand for what you truly believe. But to be fair, though, that's politics.
Yeah.
That's the slimy underbelly of politics. And part of me fucking loves it, and part of me fucking detests it. Because you get it. It makes sense. It's all about power. It's all about money. Yeah. That's all it really is. And folks, I had a really good conversation this weekend with some very, very dear friends of mine. And it's just, I think they talk about like it's a curse to have common sense. It's a curse to have certain kinds of intelligence. Because the reasoning for that is, let's just follow the rabbit down this hole. How do you fix this government? You overthrow it. That's the only way. If the government continues, if you see what's going on, the only way to prevent this government from going even more tyrannical is to overthrow it. You have to. You cannot vote yourself out of that.
You don't think so?
No. It's gone too far.
See,
because now
I think
you said to yourself, there are more Republicans that are Democrats behind closed doors, but there are no Democrats that are Republicans. Yeah. So when we look at the GOP, Chip Roy, I would say as an example of, I think he's an actual Republican. I think he's an actual conservative.
Jim Jordan.
But there are people that are Kitzingers behind closed doors. Kitzinger, we just got caught. He was the guy
I would be surprised if he came out wearing a dress and lipstick.
Literally about to say that. Crazy you just said that. But I was literally about to say Kitzinger's the guy that you walk in on who's like in a dress, like, what the fuck? It's like, oh, I've been a liberal this whole time. Like Liz Cheney, Kitzinger. How did these people fly under the radar? Because we talked about before when Crenshaw defended Kitzinger. Now, bear with me, audience, because I know you're already going to shit your pants over this, but listen to Daddy Burke for 1 fucking second before you're like, Crenshaw, when he defended Kitzinger as far as his voting record, was 100% right. You don't want to listen to this, but it's true. If you go back and you look at the voting record of Kitzinger compared to the Freedom Caucus and the members that comprised it, Kitzinger voted 99.9% in line with Trump's policies when Trump was president. That's what Crenshaw was trying to say. The problem was, Crenshaw shouldn't have said that, because there's some things that you write on, but don't fucking say it, because they'll take it and they'll see it at face value and not actually say, oh, wait a minute, he's actually right here. That's not defending Kitzinger. That's just showing what a piece of shit he is. Yeah. And then also how liars are in the GOP. It's like, wait a minute. you're actually not really about the freedom. You're not really about freedom, because if you look at how you voted on certain issues that were more pro-liberty, you didn't, because you aligned yourself more with the team sports of, well, this is what my party does. I have to reflect the party's views. Fuck the party. When the party is wrong, you leave the party, and we should be leaving the parties. Yeah. But that's never going to happen, because people are instinctively creatures that we have to be tribalistic.
That's why I can respect Kristen Sinema.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
You know, she ran as a Democrat, won as a Democrat, didn't like what she saw going on.
Still does push back on it,
Even when what was that first State of the Union or something like that, where
she sat in the middle, I think?
She sat next to somebody, and they told her to stop clapping or something like that, and you could tell they had some words back and forth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then she went to ended up being an independent, so.
Stop clapping. Suck my fucking clit.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck you, yeah.
I mean, but I would take her over.
Oh, absolutely.
The rest of the Democratic Party, for sure.
It just tells me that she's got the
balls. Same with Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
You know? I don't line with her on all of her politics, but I can respect the fact
Tulsi.
that...
I don't know. I like her as a person. You know, we met a few times. I'm still, the jury's still a little bit out, because I feel like when you go so far left, there has to be a proving time. And Tulsi's never held office as a conservative. She held it as a Democrat. Mm-hmm. You can say all you want.
But she pushed back pretty hard against the Democratic Party.
But also,
and you really saw it in the 2016 debates.
But hold on. You're seeing... yeah. I'm talking about, she's really made a name for herself, breaking from the DNC under this Biden administration. Tulsi was not hardcore against the DNC establishment during Trump's presidential... She wasn't. You saw the signs of it. You saw it coming. But when she surfaced as going after Kamala and the likes of it, she really started to break away. Same with Bernie Sanders. Bernie got fucked.
Yeah, Bernie's a stupid asshole,
He is. You kept going back to the party that fucked you over, bro. You're the idiot.
Yeah,
but still,
he's a dummy.
Well, think of Bernie's position. Where else is he going to go? To embrace socialism? That's a leftist thing. You will never find that on the right. But the same group that you now tied yourself to are sitting there. You're sitting there barking for them while they're fucking you in the ass. What other options do you have, though? Because your politics are never going to be embraced on the right. So you're forced to go to the left. So whatever shithole that is, you got to take that all. But anyway, Tulsi made a name for herself going against the Biden administration. That's not hard to do. Biden has been fucking the pooch so royally, any Democrat could have came out. Now, I'm not trying to devalue Tulsi. I do like her. But her policies, until I see an open shift of the Second Amendment, that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Because she was not pro-Second Amendment in Hawaii. Hawaii was a whole different ballgame.
Her problem is that she thinks government can come in and fix problems.
There you go.
And government can't fix any problems. Government makes things worse.
I agree.
That's why college is so expensive now.
Yep.
Because
Medicaid.
the government got involved.
Yep.
That's why insurance is so high now, because government got involved. That's why the government, whenever they step in, the government steps in.
They fuck it up,
They fuck it up.
Yeah.
It has to be privatized. Everything.
And when you talk about they fuck it up, it's not like they just don't know what they're doing. They are so corrupt.
Yeah, they're corrupt.
They corrupt it too, and they fuck it up.
And they get paid themselves on the back end.
Yes.
That's exactly what happens.
100%.
Nobody's going to convince me otherwise. I mean,
I agree.
They go in and they fuck shit up so they can get paid. How many situations do you need
to see before you're like, oh, no, that's actually true? Look, it's happened every fucking time.
Every time. That's why they... government can't do anything. Small government, privatized.
Local governments.
Should just be localized.
But I want to go back to the other point of the conversation I was having with friends, to where we're talking about when you're kind of cursed with certain levels of intelligence, whatever you want to call it. They're like, how do you fix this government situation? It's like, bro, it is so corrupt at this point. It's like the only way through is to shoot. It's like, that's it. It's like, but that being said, let's say like we do that. You overthrow it, you shoot your way out of it, you install a new democratically elected Congress. It's like, that does not remove the human element of corruptibility.
See, I think
greed. It doesn't.
Eventually, voting will cast out the pieces of shit that are in office, right? It's just a slower process.
Nah.
You ever see that analogy where there's like a big bowl of clear water and you dump a Coke in it and the water's all murky, and then you have to keep pouring clear water and eventually it filters itself out. It's a slower process, but eventually it will filter out.
What about when
but
the
more
system's
people
rigged?
have to get upset with how the government is being run.
Right.
There's more. There's 300.
You're right.
There's 320 million people in this country.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying is follow that method of thinking, though. So we've already said that you can vote your way, but what about when the system's rigged, like Dominion? How do you fix that?
At some point, the amount of legal votes takes over the fraudulent votes.
Hasn't
at
so
least,
far.
You have to wait
But
at least
also,
another
that
couple
election-
cycles to
but
see.
you
Because
can't
like
wait
what
that
happened
long.
in
These are important
Arizona,
elections. These are
Arizona
important
was
elections. Yeah, that was bullshit.
that was total like.
But let's
what's her
follow-
face?
Let's Carrie
got
Lake
fucked. Carrie Lake got
let's,
screwed.
Let's go down that rabbit hole though, because let's say that people do get enough. They just like, and the voting isn't working. The systems are still rigged. You know, Joe Biden is saying we're going to stick with Dominion software. Yada yada. The system is rigged. Eventually, people will get fed up. And you say they're going to have an overwhelming amount of votes. No, I don't think they will, because they will suppress that shit, or they'll create more for themselves. They've already done it.
I think they rigged the 2016 election just enough to get Hillary Clinton elected.
That's all you needed.
But Trump had so many votes that they
weren't counting on that.
They hadn't anticipated people who had never voted. That they couldn't possibly.
They weren't counting on.
That's why this time when Joe Biden went in,
we need to make
this
sure
guy got 81 million votes. So you're saying
he doesn't even have that
Trump
many followers on fucking Twitter? It's
Trump
like ridiculous.
got 12 million more votes than he did in 2016, and still lost Ohio, Florida, and Texas. And all the bellwether counties,
but I'm
and
still
lost.
point that I'm still trying to say though is say like that we do overthrow this, or you do install a new government, whatever the case, for better reasons. The human level of corruptibility and greed is always going to exist. Now we're getting into the philosophy of human nature.
But I think Sidney Powell was right when she was like they were monitoring everything, all the election live and all that stuff, and they knew exactly what was going on. And the real tally of the votes was more like Trump had over 80 million
Trump
votes.
won 2020. We know this. Like Democrats are getting election deniers. Like, bro, come on.
But I just think there has to be more vote. It'll be a slower process than the violent route, obviously.
Yeah, naturally.
But
well, I mean, the violent route does not mean it's ended right away. It means that you begin the process of removing people, and then now you have to.
That would be a much messier process too.
Yeah, but oh man, that'd be fun. That'd be so fun. Can you imagine? Like,
what about the military?
Like
so what about the military? So there's obviously people in the military.
That's where it gets tricky. That's where it gets slippery. It's like it's not a very quick thing, because if you want to remove people, now you got the feds, you got the military, you got law enforcement. They're going to be split. You don't know where they're going to go.
A majority of the foot soldiers would be, more conservative than their,
it's
superior.
Funny you say that, because a buddy of mine brought that up. As far as police goes, like, bro, the newer generations are more progressive than we are conservative, and they're the ones filling the ranks right now. Smart motherfuckers are getting away from that. They don't want to deal with that bullshit. You see what's going on as far as minorities with the police world. Like anything kicks off in the minority, your ass is grass. It's like you don't want to deal with it. If you're a white cop, it's like, fuck this. It's not worth my career. So when you see that, well, then who are the ranks left open to? People that don't really agree or see eye to eye with you politically. So yes, there are way more progressive cops than conservative, and the same goes for soldiers. Yeah. I wish because I used to think like that. I was like, there's more conservative.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Well, I guess
not anymore.
Since you served, I mean.
Well, no, that's me. That's me still being out.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that you have more progressive parents, especially, say, for example, in the officer corps. They're all churned out of these fucking liberal indoctrination camps, these colleges. So these officers are coming in, and they're having the same bullshit. These young enlisted kids, age range is like 17 to 22. They're still impressionable. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. How do I know this? 17-year-old Burke can tell you. By the way, forgot to tell people, March 17th, happy St. Patrick's Day, but 20-year anniversary of the invasion of Iraq. 20 years ago, I was in Kuwait when they gave the order to push into Iraq. I was like, holy fuck, it's been 20 years. 20 years.
Did it go by quick?
For what? For what? Oh my God. We should probably talk about some of the news that we have. Oh my God.
Going back to this Delta 8 stuff that we're selling.
Bro, yeah. Hey, if you've not checked it out, the Delta 8 from Shell Shock CBD, use code SAVAGE, save yourself 10%. It's a great product. I microdose Delta 8. It's wonderful. It's a great mood enhancer. Yes, you will fail a drug test. You will fail a drug test on Delta 8. Now, if you want something to help take the edge off that won't make you pop on a drug test, try the CBD oil. The CBD oil does wonders. It is really good. I'm not even going to lie about this. The girlfriend loves the tattoo bomb, but she likes it more for replenishing and moisturizing her skin with CBD because she has a little bit of eczema in certain areas, and it just knocks it right out. So she's like, can you like make this in like a more, it's like, well, it's a tattoo bomb because it's great for skin. It's like, but we should probably marketed that like a little bit differently. But at the same token, like it's a great combo. It's literally just CBD. It smells good. It moisturizes. It makes the colors pop in your ink, but it's also wonderful for skin. An entire stick is for $20. That's with 250 milligrams of CBD. That's really good. Really fucking good. So check that out. Again, it's shellshockcbd.com, code SAVAGE, save yourself 10%, or become a subscriber. If you subscribe to the website and you get that order shipped back out to you every month, 3 months, whatever you want, you're saving 10% every single time. So the bigger you make that cart, the more you save. Now, of course, the more you spend, but the more you do save. It's kind of that double-edged sword there. But still, you'll never forget it. You don't have to worry about it because, I mean, you can forget it. We'll take care of it. Every month on the dot, your order is at your door and you get a marked off percentage. You cannot beat that, folks. So it pays to be a subscriber. That being said, man, let's get into the news. No, you weren't ready for that one. You weren't ready for that one.
It's like a 50-minute intro.
Yeah, right? Jordan Comer still seek testimony from Manhattan DA in anticipation of unprecedented abuse of authority against Trump. Republicans on top House initiative committees requested testimony Monday from Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg after former President Donald Trump announced Saturday that he expected to be arrested this week in connection with an investigation Bragg's office has been conducting. Same office that made it publicly aware they were going after Trump. This is a banana republic, folks.
Yeah, that's what
These DAs are so fucking corrupt. And it's a Soros-backed DA. A Holocaust camp survivor, Soros, by the way.
That's why it's so hard for me to get off the Trump train because of this kind of shit.
He's counting on that, though. You just proved my point.
Exactly.
Because Trump knows people are going to go more to his side because of what the left is doing, and Trump's not stupid.
Why do they want this guy out of office so bad?
Yes.
Because he will do what he said he's going to do.
Yeah. Well, no,
for the most part.
For the
we know gas prices are going to be low. We know the border's going to will be secured.
True.
We know that
he didn't legalize marijuana. Antifa's still not a terrorist organization. The wall's still not completely built. But I get what you're saying.
Right.
I don't want to go into absolutes with him. There's a lot that he didn't do that he said he would. But I think he was also counting on a second term.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that because at the end of his first term, that's what he was campaigning on. And I'm kind of like, why didn't you do that? The other thing is for like number one, Antifa as a terrorist organization. That shouldn't have been hard to do.
But
why don't you think that happened, folks? If you really think the feds aren't in league with Antifa or their feet, come on.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. Let's fucking be real. They're agents. Like, I'm not saying like federal agents, but they're a useful tool. That's what Antifa is. I mean, if you look at who comprises the ranks of Antifa, they're fucking retards. They are. Yeah. Fat, ugly, social outcasts that in any other society would have probably been executed or made to go work the fields as slaves. Mm-hmm. They're losers. That's what they majority are. In this society, though, they have to have equal rights to everybody else, which I'm not against. But they are so stupid that organizations can manipulate these people. It's not that difficult. It is not that difficult. And they do it spectacularly. The feds know. I mean, fuck, the CIA. That's what they do. It's what they fucking do. So it's kind of like, why didn't they make it a terrorist organization? Very good question. Why didn't they?
I'd like to hear that answer.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, that'd be a good question to ask if you ever got the opportunity.
Why didn't you make terror? Yeah. Because, I mean, look at Portland, Oregon. Holy fuck. Somebody said, we should go visit that. It's like, why? I was like, I don't want to put myself in a situation where I need to go find a gun and blast one of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know, man. And it's sad, too, because it's such a beautiful state. Like all those northern states up there, Washington, Oregon.
I've been to Spokane, but I've never been to Oregon.
The real shame.
It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's why I feel like there's so much corruptibility. There's so much slipperiness. Like, I don't know whose side to be on at this point. Judiciary Committee Chairman Representative Jim Jordan, Oversight Committee Chairman, penned a request to letter to Bragg obtained by Breitbart News in anticipation of the possible indictment. In it, they demanded numerous documents from Bragg and asked that he contact them by March 23rd to schedule the testimony with them via a transcribed interview. If the reports of an indictment are true, they wrote Bragg's actions would erode confidence in the even-handed application of justice and unilaterally interfere in the course of the 2024 presidential election. Read a copy of the letter below. They're basically saying, hey, Bragg, you can testify. Do you think? I don't think he's going to testify.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. He's going to play his cards close to the chest. He's not going to say shit to them.
Yep.
It's weird.
Fucking nerds.
Bragg, whose campaign for district attorney in 2021 was financially linked to Democratic mega donor George Soros, sought to breathe new life into an inquiry that once seemed to have reached a dead end. By zeroing in on Daniels' scandal in the first year he took office, the New York Times reported in November. The case involves Trump's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, who has said he was pressured to make a $130,000 hush money payment on behalf of the former president to Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Cohen, in 2018, was sentenced to 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to several crimes involving tax evasion, arranging payments to silence women, including Daniels, and misleading Congress about past business dealings in Russia. Citing legal scholar Jonathan Turley, the Republicans contended that Bragg was now attempting to shoehorn the same case with identical facts into a new prosecution, resurrecting the so-called zombie case against President Trump. They noted that a Washington Post op-ed that had called the expected indictment unusual because prosecutors have repeatedly examined the long-established details but decided not to pursue charges. Now, folks, push pause on that right there. They decided not to pursue charges. This is back when Stormy Daniels was in the news. Democrats were really just frothing at the mouth, wanting to sink their teeth into Trump. This is back when he was president and they wanted to impeach him if he just blinked the wrong fucking way. Why do you think they did not pursue it? Because there was nothing there. There was nothing there. There's two different methods you can take on that. The first one is we're doing it for the optics. And the optics can be just as damaging, if not more, even if you don't get a prosecution. It's like the Steele dossier. It was proven false, debunked by CNN. They admitted it later on, but the damage is done. For this shit right here, they didn't prosecute because they didn't fucking have anything. Yeah. They didn't have shit. So why do you think they're trying to do it again now? They don't have any new dirt. It's the same fucking case, and it's true. They're trying to get him on a technicality. This is like an Al Capone fucking thing. We can't get him for the people or the bootlegging. We got him on taxes. That's what they're trying to do to Trump.
So I'll tell you, like, if they want to come after you for anything, they could just bring in the IRS, go through your taxes, and
what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
When Trump was getting up there and he was talking like that Chappelle clip that he played, you remember, what I'm talking about, where he's like, the system's rigged. I know it's rigged because I used it. Yeah. It's the same thing.
Not wrong.
I think he's got his army of attorneys that comb through the, IRS, literature and see how close they can, go to the line without crossing over it. So, I don't think they'll ever have anything on him. I think they're going to arrest him.
I don't. I think this is all just it's one of those things like we have enough to give you this warrant, but then the judge is going to throw it out.
Because Cohen he recorded their conversation. Yeah. You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, Cohen, they played it and he recorded the conversation he had with Trump. That's how much of a scumbag that guy is. Yeah. So Trump was his client, secretly recorded him about, the dealings with Stormy Daniels. Yeah. And Trump was just like, I just wanted to go away or something like that. I can't remember exactly word for word what it was, but then he ended up going to jail.
We talk about optics, just because Trump paid her, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, but we both know the truth on this one, or at least I think we do. Settling with somebody out of court is not an admission of guilt. That's just hey, go the fuck away.
I think it was because they were saying they used campaign finances to pay her off.
And then write that out for legal fees, shit like that. Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to get them on. Right. Which, again, you're not going to lock them up for that. There's just no way. Because the shit that's what I'm saying, man. It's so corrupt. It's so fucking corrupt.
Here, you've got Joe Biden with multiple locations with top secret classified information.
Bro, and just the Chinese investments, the Chinese money this guy has taken is like, bro, that would have been more than enough to impeach Trump.
He had his son's laptop with, I don't know, from what it sounds like.
Bro, I don't get it either.
Had a lot of nasty stuff on it.
But that's why we are so stupid as a society, because liberals, they see this. You said yourself, I think the CNN article, they said, no, it's not looking good for this bullshit. Yeah. It's like they don't have enough. When they are admitting it and liberals still refuse to concede this has been a witch hunt, you're fucked. Because both parties have to have some level of good faith, but neither of them do. So there is no concessions being made. There is no negotiating. There's no reach across the aisle. We are so polarized. And ultimately, the people that suffer the most, folks, are you that are listening right now. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. When you wake up and you unplug from the matrix, whatever you want to call it, these motherfuckers are already in Congress. They're already rich. They've made it. They've won at life. All they're trying to do is get more assets, accrue more wealth, more power. Why? I don't know. If you told me, John, you're going to get paid $10,000 a month for the rest of your life, I'm going the fuck away. I don't care about any of you motherfuckers. That's the goal. I want a cabin in the woods, and the rest of you can go burn in hell for all I care. But these politicians, and the reason I say this, think about, I was like, well, you've won at life. What are you still doing to try and acquire more power and wealth? Why? Well, there's something there. There's something that's dangerously evil. Because if I could acquire enough finances, legally, then what's the point? And like, I don't need millions of dollars. Would I like it? Sure. But have you ever really put yourself in a position to where it's like, say like you had $2 million a day. Now, I ask you to please just bear with me and try and put yourself in this frame of mind and really think about this. For example, when you play a video game, the enjoyment, whether you like it or not, is partially in the losing because it means, fuck, it's giving me something to beat. It's giving me something to get better at, okay? If you're following me so far, awesome. It's not that hard, but we're about to get a little tricky here, so bear with me. Now, what happens to that same video game when you get the cheat codes? Suddenly, it's not fun. You just walk through it. There's no obstacles. It's just like, oh, it just took all the fun out of it. Unless you're just a loser. I'm sorry. It's not. Life is the same way. You remove all the obstacles. You remove every difficult situation. You've won at life. What's the fun? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, in order for, like, you went on a vacation. You earned that vacation. You worked for that vacation. That's why you appreciate it more. But if you had so much money where there are no more obstacles, would life still be fun?
Yeah, it would. I would like $2 million a day.
I don't think so.
I could make it work.
Because no, you don't live in reality anymore. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Like, imagine just that.
That's the portion I really like about it. Is I can do whatever I want.
I'm just saying that much money.
If I'm keeping it 100% real over here.
Oh my God. I just feel like once you've basically won at life, once you've hit that level to where you never have to worry about anything financially again, it's taken away a lot of the thrill, a lot of the enjoyment to saying, this is why we work. I mean, honestly, why do we want Shell Shock to be successful?
Yeah, so I could move on to do greater things. So the more money you have, I see it as a doorway to being able to help other people out. Right?
That's different. I mean, yes, I will give you that one, but that's also different.
Yeah,
I'm talking
sure,
about
you could
you
go
yourself
volunteer at a local soup kitchen and donate
naturally.
Stuff like that. But I think, once you get to a place where you're financially free and money's no longer an issue, then it's an obligation to, give back as much as you can to try to help as many people as you can.
If you're a philanthropist. But I'm saying in the
or
sense of just
as
you
a
personally.
Christian, holding some Christian values.
Damn it, Josh, you're
I'm not trying to complicate it. I'm not saying I'm like a perfect person or
that's that. Now we're not even talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about in general that if you remove all the obstacles of life, which I think majority from people are fiscal, you remove that and you get a straight shot through life. Say for example, look at like Hollywood kids. Look at the children of stars that never have to want for anything. Their life is completely altered.
Yeah, I wouldn't change how I raise my children.
But I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in the sense of when you have no obstacles, when you never have to want for anything, when there's no pushback and you're surrounded with a just clear path to walk and do whatever the fuck you want to do, that doesn't develop you as a human being. I feel like that makes you into something that's not based in reality because that's not reality for the majority of people in this world. So I feel like that much money, let's take it back to the original thing of politicians in general, that much money, that much power, it ain't for philanthropy, Josh.
Yeah, those are different people.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, those are scumbags.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what worries me about stuff like that. It's like, why do you want so much power? Why do you want so much money? So when you look at the Biden administration and the millions that Hunter Biden helped facilitating those deals with China, fuck. Like, they are some evil, scummy motherfuckers. And that's the thing that I talk about good faith. Liberals are the party of socialism now. Whether they like it or not, they're the party of socialism. So you explain to me why Hunter Biden has or Joe Biden has, if not billions, probably millions. Why are you not upset about that? The greedy corporations or the greedy capitalists
I know
that are on your side, and you have no issue with that because they're liberals. Well, if it's liberals doing it, it's A-okay. That's what I'm saying. You cannot, and let's go back to my original point with Crenshaw, you cannot negotiate with these people. There are no good faith arguments to be had. You are reaching across the aisle to try and reason with retards. Because if the voter base will not hold their own to a standard, then what's the fucking point? It's like screaming into a room where there's no response. It's like, what's the point? There's no point.
Oh, like my Twitter feed.
Bro, I'm so tired of Twitter at this point. Like, you try and grow it, and it's like, fuck me, bro. Like, it's gotten stupid. Because you know how people grow on Twitter? And this is why I refuse to partake. They do these stupid bait interaction posts. I see that Tim comedian. He's like, who do you hate the politician the most and why? Do you think he reads those? He doesn't give a fuck. He wants you to engage. He wants you to comment. More people see what you're commenting, and then they go follow him. I can't do that. I can't. I'm sorry. I probably should. Then I'd be like Drano and the rest of them. I can't. I feel it's very superficial, but unfortunately,
Raise your hand if you're voting Trump.
I know, yeah. It's like, really? It's fucking Josh. I'm gonna raise my.
Yeah.
I feel like it is beneath me. I feel like that's pandering for the sake of getting a following for the wrong fucking reasons, and I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
And then people were complaining, why don't you do any more John Ross? Where? Where am I going to post it that you're actually going to see it? Half you motherfuckers won't even go and follow me on Rumble. It's like pulling teeth. Like, I don't know. Well, hey, you say you want this content, but you're not going to create an account and go over there and follow me on it. So what the fuck's the point? I had to delete the John Ross channel. There's no point. I had like 800 followers. Big whoop. I ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah.
And then you want me to take my time and create this that Josh pretty much has to do it all. He has to do the editing, all the stuff. For what? People not to share it? We don't make any money off of it. What's the fucking point? But people want this gimme. It's like, because we've given it to you for free for so fucking long. And then when you say, hey, just do me a favor, if you could like and share it, that would help. The same for the fucking podcast. You know how many tags I see on Instagram for us for these shows? 0. Fucking 0.
Really? I've seen some people share it.
Very rare. Very rare do I see that shit. And it's sad.
I think her name is Sarah on...
Oh, no, yeah, I know that one. Yeah. But I'm talking about in general. If we've got, how many viewers do we have on Rumble right now? I'm going to put motherfuckers on the spot. I don't give a shit. Got 855 Muldoons watching this right now. If 855 motherfuckers shared this stream, that follower count would go up. Because right now, Rumble does not have an algorithm that boosts certain shit. If you get featured, that's great. And they've done a lot for me. I'm not trying to dog Rumble here. But it's not the same as YouTube, where algorithms can pick you up and show it to bigger audiences. Rumble doesn't do that yet. So your growth on the channel is all internal and organic. There is no other methods coming in there to help you grow. So it's kind of like you can sit here and put out all this content for free, and all we're asking, and folks, let's just be honest, Shell Shock is tied to the podcast. Mm-hmm. The bigger the podcast gets, we can take on sponsors, it pays the bills, but Shell Shock grows as a company. Why? Because we're not sinking money into social media. I'm not going to do it. I've paid Truth Social a couple $1,000 to advertise with them. Didn't get a good ROI, fair enough. At least we shot. We tried. The biggest ROI we get is from the fucking podcast. So the goal is now we're focused on growing the podcast. Why? Because hopefully we can convert some people into customers for Shell Shock. Makes sense to me. But you give and you give and you give and you give, and finally you get to the point where it's like, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers. They ain't doing shit. Now, I'm not saying that for our loyal customers. Please don't take it that way. But where I'm getting this is when they, we want John Ross. And then I've zoned in on 3 different people asking for John Ross. And I was like, have you ever bought Shell Shock? No. Why the fuck am I going to do anything for you? And people don't get that because they see you on a screen on their phone. They feel entitled to get your intellectual property, if you will. Those skits we did with John Ross, Josh can tell you, did we ever have a script for any single one of them?
It's all
off the fucking cuff. Yep. Majority of it's Josh. Because we'll be sitting there just working back and forth. It's like, let's do this, roll with this. And usually we get it in like 2 or 3 takes. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. But people want us to pause our daily lives, especially you, to have to edit. Like, for you, editing one of those videos takes about, like, what, a day? It takes a while.
Yeah, it takes a while.
It takes a minute. So that's Josh stepping aside
yeah.
from running the business. Josh does a lot of fiscal stuff behind the scenes. The point that I'm trying to make, though, is time is money. We can make way more money. And, it's about the money. You're fucking A right, it's about the fucking money. The money is what puts clothes on your children's backs. It's what allows us to grow this company, to offer new products, to employ people, bump their fucking pay up to a very, very competitive rate. That it all feeds into one ecosystem, one fiscal ecosystem, if you will. Like when somebody gets hired on for Shell Shock, like, what's your business model? Have you ever just thrown shit against the wall and just fucking connect the dots? That's literally what we do. There is no plan here. There is no, and that's why I call bullshit on a lot of these fucking entrepreneurs. What's your business model? There isn't one. Controlled fucking chaos, and it works. It fucking works.
Let me punch it into OpenAI and see what it comes back with.
I'm not against the business. Please don't take me the wrong way. You've got to see what works for you, and we know what works for us. We throw shit against the wall, and we see if it sticks. If it sticks, go with it. If it doesn't, fuck off. It is what it is. But I guess the other point that I'm trying to make, though, back to the original, was that people want pieces of you. They want gimme, but they don't want to give anything in return. And I feel like with social media, that's been exacerbated to such a level that when you say, hey, would you mind supporting us on Locals for $5? Oh, I don't have time. You have time to sit here and listen to this podcast. You have time to sit there and fucking say, hey, John, blah, 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 blah. But when we ask for something in return, bro, good luck fucking getting it. It's insane to me. Fucking insane.
You know what I think would help people share the podcast?
Shell shock? I don't know. What?
Hot pepper challenge.
Fuck you. Fuck you, dude.
That's still one of the
that
funniest.
That was so fucked up.
That was one of the funniest videos, I think.
Yeah, fuck you, man. That hurt. That hurt bad.
It looked like it hurt.
Bro, it did. That was horrible. That was, oh my God. That was a horrible thing to do.
Yeah, after I saw the vomiting, I was extremely
that was not
confident
funny.
in my decision not to eat.
That was not funny.
Chip.
That was not funny at all. Fuck you, dude. For those that don't know, the packetty, how do you say it?
Like packy chip.
Yeah, 7-Eleven has this chip, and it's coated in the hottest pepper imaginable.
Like scorpion pepper.
Oh my God.
The ghost pepper
Bro,
with the Carolina Reaper.
Yes.
It's like the
it's
three
ghost pepper
hottest
challenge, but on a chip. And this chip is coated in like at least an inch thick crust
it was
of
black.
these spices. So I bought 2 chips. Josh and I are going to do the Packy Challenge. Why? Because it's great for the show. People want to see you fucking suck. I get it. It's fun. So I buy 2 chips. I walk out of the room, and we've opened the chips. I went to go do something. I come back, and we're going to do it together. I take a bite of the chip, and within like 10 seconds, I'm feeling it. Josh, like, he bites his chip. I don't really feel anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, okay.
I ate it first because you wanted to see if it was going to do
gosh.
anything.
Oh my gosh. I was sitting there just like, you can't stop it. The pain just doesn't stop. And come to find out the motherfucker replaced his chip with a Dorito when I walked out of the room. And I'm sitting to do the challenge by myself. I was like, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. You were proud of yourself.
I still watch the video.
The only redeeming thing was that you had milk. Yeah. You had milk there because I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. Drink some water. I ain't doing shit. It's like trying to put like water on an electrical fire. They ain't doing a dick all.
No.
So yeah, the milk definitely helped.
It was funny. I was proud of you.
Fuck you. Proud of me for what? Like, oh my God.
You ate that. You ate it.
Fuck that shit.
Didn't even think about it. Just popped it right in your mouth.
Never went after it. Never again. All right, let's get back to the news. It is a Monday, folks. It is definitely a Monday, and we're glad you're spending your Monday with us. It's just more articles on Trump. The House Judiciary Committee demands Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg testify about possible Trump indictment. They're just trying to, folks, look, I mean, it's all hoopla, it's dog, but we know why he's doing this. We know why. Well, it's not even sugarcoated. This is a political bias against Trump. It's bullshit. I think DeSantis' place, the way he's handling it, spot on. Keep doing that. Be the bigger man. Don't fucking take shots at Trump. But you know Trump is still going to take shots at DeSantis. You know he will. If he does, you're just going to see Trump for who he is now. It's like, this is not 2016 Trump. This is a different Trump now. But Donald Trump attends a fucking NCAA wrestling tournament despite predicted arrest. This is the Breitbart news. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Let's move on. We see what's happening with Trump. We'll just watch that come to fruition. Mayorkas says Biden's new border rules leave many open gaps. Haven't even read this article. Folks, when Democrats are jumping ship, because right now the GOP is trying to impeach Mayorkas. They're trying to go after him. They want him to resign. He refuses. Mayorkas, I think, is trying to exit on his own terms, saying, like, this administration is too messed up. I'm gone, versus like, bro, you're fired.
Yeah.
You know,
he's like all these picks,
horrible. They're all fucking horrible.
All of these picks of the Biden administration are disasters.
Hot garbage.
Yellen, Mayorkas, like Buttigieg, every one of them.
Hot fucking garbage.
Just, they are garbage. I mean, how would they get it? What are they going to do after this?
Oh, you know, some woke company's going to hire him just for their name.
Go to CNN, MSNBC.
That's what Kitzinger's done. Yeah.
It's just, it's like,
it's ridiculous. President Joe Biden's pro-migration border chief is rebuking pro-migration advocates for making demands that threaten Biden's 2024 re-election campaign. This is about governing. Border chief Alejandro Mayorkas told a pro-migration university lawyer who objected to the administration's new curbs on unpopular border migration. Mayorkas outlined the many exceptions and loopholes in the promised curbs, and he urged progressives to manage their own ambitions. It is about taking one's ideals, taking one's ambitions, and seeking to realize those ideals and meeting the moment, the reality that we confront. How do you propose that we handle 8,000 people each day when we are not funded by Congress for that? Very simple. Number one, turn off social media and stop giving a fuck about the opinions of these stupid blue-haired liberals in states that don't fucking matter. You know how you end it? You start putting rounds. John said it. If there's no border and Border Patrol's there with weapons, do you think they're going to cross? If motherfuckers start getting dropped, you start putting landmines, they're going to fucking stop. Or if they don't, man, they really wanted to come over.
I know, man.
If you can make it through the minefield, here we go. You know, we're going to have some cameras there. We're going to broadcast it live on one TV show, one TV channel, 24/7 coverage. If you want to try and make it through that fucking minefield, bro, you've earned your citizenship at that point. You've earned it. And of course, you know, this is John being an extremist here. But no, you've got to protect the borders. If the border's being crossed by illegal immigrants, I'm sorry. The only way is you make them afraid to cross. That's the only way through. Outside of that, and this is what I love about conservatives. Like, you're not addressing the border wall. That's a Band-Aid. That does not address economically how to fucking stop this. Because as long as businesses participate, which, by the way, Milton Friedman's projection or his thing as far as illegal immigration is great when it's illegal, he is 100% spot on. 100% spot on, because that money stays in America. It stays here. But now you have these illegal immigrants coming over here, benefiting from this, sending money back to Mexico, things such as this, and it is a massive drain on the economy. It is really a massive drain versus that illegal immigrant is going to help make very competitive rates, very competitive wages. Why? He's going to work the jobs that a lot of Americans won't, which enables smaller end businesses that can't afford to hire somebody for $18 now because liberals want to raise the fucking minimum wage. Now they can afford it for cheaper labor. They can grow that company. Makes fucking sense to me. But now they've kind of upended it. It's all different now, which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. But I love this. How do we, we're not funded by Congress. You kind of are. The problem is you just did budget cuts. Biden took away the horses. They didn't want to invest in technology. This is 100% a federal government failure. Matter of fact, it's kind of in the Constitution. That's their job. The sovereignty of the nation's security. That's their job. So yes, you are funded.
Yeah.
It's just that you have Democrats that are not giving you the money because they basically say we need to spend more on fucking blue-haired hippies.
So I'm just like, these politicians they're crooks.
Oh, 100%.
And they're tied into these cartels.
Yes.
So what's his face? The El Chapo guy already said that. He was like, it's Mexican officials and American officials. If they wanted to close the border, they could close it today.
Yep. They don't want to.
But they're getting paid.
Yep.
These cartels pay. They're making billions and billions of dollars.
They're making bank.
Yeah.
Running
bank. Fentanyl, loads of marijuana.
Yep.
I mean, they screwed up the marijuana stuff, the legalization of marijuana so bad that it's better to get it on the black market than it is to go into a dispensary.
That's why.
But you're not going to get busted if you just buy it from somebody on the fucking street because if you get pulled over and you have an ounce of weed on you, like, oh, well, it's fucking legal. Who cares? What are you going to do?
It's funny that you bring that up, though, because it's kind of like the black market. Most people get it right at first. Like, they should legalize it. Yes! And then tax it. No.
Yeah.
Like, you just lost me. You just fucking. They should regulate it. No. You know why American Shaman was calling for the harder regulation on CBD? Because they're already doing very well. Yeah. American Shaman is crushing in the CBD industry.
That's the same reason why Delta 8 is illegal in Colorado.
Yep.
The same reason Delta 8 is illegal in Colorado is because marijuana is legal and they don't want the competition.
Because Delta 8 is cheaper. Yeah. It gives you the same benefits. You don't have to smoke it and fuck your lungs up. So anytime you're going to have somebody that comes in and threatens the market, that's why American Shaman said Delta 8 should be illegal. It's like, oh, of course you want it to be illegal because you're dominating with CBD oil. It's like, or you could just modernize and start selling Delta 8. It's not that hard. Yeah. Create your own strand, go to town on it, but they don't. It's like, no, what we should do is have harder regulation. Like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Supposed like beneficiaries of consumerism through capitalistic means suddenly become very finicky once they've made it to the top. It's like, well, now we have to protect our empire. What are you afraid of? If somebody else comes in to horn in on your territory, then be competitive. You should not be able to corner the market. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just don't agree with that. Maybe it's because I have common fucking sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's St. Patrick's Day. And everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day, to include myself. Well, I'm actually Irish, so I mean, it helps. I did that Ancestry.com. Come to find out, I had ancestors that fought in the Civil War on the North.
Really?
I didn't know that, yeah. I had no idea.
Bastards. Yankee.
Fucking Confederate scum. No, my ancestors, I actually had 2 or 3 people that fought in the Civil War for the North, and then I had Irish immigrants that came over in 16 or 1700s. So I have like a lot of ancestors going back to Germany and Ireland. Like my mother's side is hardcore German. My father's side is hardcore Irish.
How many slaves did your family own?
Fuck, man, I don't know. I didn't see a lick of that money though. Didn't see jack shit.
Interesting.
You figure if you own slaves, it means you're rich. I ain't seen dick all for money. fucking great grandparents. Stingy motherfuckers. It is what it is.
Well.
But no, St. Patrick's Day, everybody wants to be Irish. And you know what's so great about it? The Irish don't give a fuck. They're like, come on, drink a pint with us. Everybody's fucking Irish on the St. Patrick's Day. And then I made a tweet. I said, hey, go ahead and make all the fucking Irish jokes you want. You know why? Because Irish people aren't bitches and get offended about everything. Well, there's always that one stooge that's got to prove me wrong. Liam Neeson. Welcome to the show, you douchebag. He calls Jimmy Kimmel Irish jokes at Oscars racist and admits gun violence makes him reconsider violent films. No, dude, it's too late. You've already made millions off of gun violence in your films. You don't get to suddenly grow a conscience now and then sit there and say, oh, I did it wrong. Now I'm changing path. No, bro. You've already helped contribute to gun violence according to your own, how you think like that. Liam Neeson says Jimmy Kimmel's controversial jokes about Irish people at the Oscars were being a bit racist. And here's the beauty of it. The U.S. comedian has come under fire over jokes he made about Irish people while hosting the 2023 Academy Awards ceremony last week in front of a record-breaking number of Irish nominees and a crowd. Listen to this joke. The U.S. comedian, Neeson from Co-Antrim was not in attendance at the awards, but when asked what he thought, he told the Times, I heard he was being a bit racist. Jokes about Irish fighting, drinking, and all that. I don't know what to say. Where do you think that came from?
Yeah.
The Irish were known to be drinkers and fighters. That's being a big racist. Is it?
Okay.
Is it? I don't think so. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, that's something to be proud of. The Fighting Irish. Fuck, it's a Notre Dame team slogan, the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck. It's like, it makes sense to me. But this douchebag, it's a bit racist. Dude, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Don't be that one little Irish progressive bitch that tries to ruin everything for everybody else. It's ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Kimmel kicked off the jokes in the opening monologue of the ceremony saying, it was some year for diversity and inclusion. We have nominees from every corner of Dublin. 5 Irish actors are nominated tonight, which means the odds of another fight on stage just went way up. And the audience laughed because it was fucking funny. But Liam Neeson has to sit there and be a woke little bitch. Oh, it's not funny. I will find you, and I will be offended.
I wouldn't laugh at Kimmel's stuff either, though.
Kimmel's not funny. He's really not. I'm sorry. That guy is so fucking cringe.
I know.
He's so cringe. Democrats eat the shit up. They love it. But also saw this article, and we're going to end the show. We're already at an hour and 18. We got a call business meeting after this. Iraqi beauty queen who served with U.S. troops takes on woke Dems, says she has to speak up against AOC squad. Sarah Iden, 2017 Miss Universe contestant, to run for Congress as Democrat in California. I haven't even read this article, and that threw me for a loop. Okay. Unless she's like a classic liberal, but I doubt it. A beauty queen who represented Iraq in Miss Universe of 2017 is now looking to represent Californians in Congress, telling Fox and Friends on Monday that she's eyeing a run for office and is vowing to take on the woke wing of her party in the process. Sarah Iden, born in Baghdad, lived under Saddam Hussein's rule and served as a translator for the U.S. Army during the Iraq War before she fled the country and later became a U.S. citizen. Though the California Democrat is pushing back against the extremist wing of her own party, she wants to make it clear she still aligns with the traditional liberalism. Okay, I figured. Okay, I hadn't even read the article. I figured traditional, but it doesn't exist anymore. It really doesn't. Your party's been overtaken by this SJW progressive bullshit. So to say that you're a classic liberal, you should just become a libertarian at that point. Just become a libertarian.
Yep.
Well, I thought that was cool. And then, of course, Newsom is under pressure to take executive action on reparations in California legislature. Doesn't act. Reparations movements gaining steam in California would enter the Union in 1850 as a free state. There were never slaves in California.
Dude, I want them to do it so bad.
Parties like, do it. Pay out, bro.
I hope they just
$5 million per
jack
family.
Up the price. Why 5?
Fucking make it 10.
Make it
Why
10, 15.
We'll just print off more money.
That's it.
Selling them houses, black people houses for $1. And just like, you've got to be kidding me.
It's
and meanwhile, Californians be like, oh, it's such a great thing. And then, Republicans are over there like, what the fuck? I didn't vote. Get out of California. Get out of California.
If they pass that, I won't watch the mass exodus of people who leave that state.
Bro.
There'll be like 15, 20 people that live there after this. Idiots.
What are you going to say? What are you going to fucking say?
Do it.
Go for it.
I say do it.
State.
Oh, that's exactly what'll happen.
I don't think it's going to pass, though. I really don't. I think this is
Lip
voter
service.
bait.
Yeah.
It's voter bait. It's to get minorities voting for Democrats, saying, look, this is what we're pushing for.
I would hold
Yada,
their feet
yada,
to the
yada.
fire on this one.
Do what?
I would hold their feet to the fire on this. That's what they said. They want to.
They never do.
They want to give
Joe Biden
reparations.
promised student loan forgiveness. Never got that. What? Because they move on so quick.
Yeah, they're
they
liars.
move on so quick.
You got to hold their feet to the fire. That was the first time voters,
Yeah.
the kids that just turned 18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
The first time they voted, Joe Biden feeds them a bowl full of shit.
Bullshit.
And when he doesn't do it, they're like, what happened?
Weird.
Like, oh, they
minorities
blocked me.
keep falling for this. They keep going back to it. Like, there comes a point. There was a philosopher that once had a really good saying. He said, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, well, you ain't gonna fool me again." That was the quote. He kind of fucked it up, but still, how many times do you have to be hoodwinked before you wake up and say, "Wait a minute, this is a grift"?
Yeah.
How much change do you have to be promised before you wake up and say, wait a minute, this is a grift. We've been lied to. But, the most tricky thing about that, let's take Obamacare, for example. Obamacare, essentially, let's just call it was to give Medicaid to poor people that couldn't afford it through insurance and shit like that. But at whose behest? Taxpayers. I do love how people, and don't get me wrong, I think it's fucked up. I think the costs of healthcare have been exacerbated astronomically from federal intervention. I think it's gone just to such an insane level. But with that being said, people don't give a fuck. By and large, when they get what they want at other people's expenses, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. It's never going to change. It will never change. But this idea, reparations to get bro, go for it. Fucking go for it.
Yeah, I'm all in favor for it.
Do it. Ain't my money. I don't give a fuck about California.
Do it.
But again, this isn't going to pass. This, again, it's just lip service. Like you said, this is voter bait. It's to get minorities to come together and say, oh, you see, look what they're trying to do for us versus like, what have they actually done for you outside of lip service? Yeah.
How many people do you think will get reparations out of that deal?
Well, here's the other thing. None. Because here's the reason why. How many, what's the quota? Like, what is the cutoff? Like, they have to have all these things. Like, how long should you have lived in California for? But there were no slaves in California. How are you tracing who actually had ancestors that were legit slaves?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of migration in between now and the Civil War of black people coming to America. So how do you differentiate? You see, this is once again the problem that government creates. There is no solid way forward of how to identify actual people and not have massive levels of fraud. Look at COVID. Look at the PPP loans. Fuck, dude. Billions in fraudulent money.
Oh, probably,
Billions.
Probably trillions.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's got to be.
So once again, a good thing is blown out of proportion because it could have been fixed locally. Well, the whole reparations, that's bullshit to begin with. But you get where I'm going on that. So
they just create busy work for themselves to seem like they're doing something.
Virtue
and all the while,
signaling,
they're just going out to expensive, lavish restaurants on the taxpayer dime.
Yep.
They're not doing anything.
They're having dinners in French laundries
That's
while
all
you're
they
out there
do.
masked up with a mask that doesn't work. And
They create these little scenarios that they know will never catch any traction just to keep their voter base
No, bro, it's ridiculous.
enticed and cheering for their home team.
it's fucking ridiculous.
It really is.
Well, folks, that does it for today's episode of the All American Savage Show podcast. You can follow us over on Rumble. That's where we're primarily streaming to. Make sure you check out shellshockcbd.com. Code SAVAGE to save you 10%. A lot of great products over there. Not just CBD oil. We have everything that you can think of. We have rack out gummies that'll get you to sleep, and they're THC free. You will not fail a drug test. We've got great things for your skin to make you feel good, look good. We've got the Delta 8, like I said, microdose net. It's going to put you in a really good fucking mood. We got CBD oil that's THC free to help you reduce your stress and anxiety. So many great options on there on the website. If you don't really know what you're doing, email our customer support. Ask for, say, hey, this is what I need, this is what I need it for, and we will happily help you out.
Yeah.
All you have to do is ask. We appreciate your love and support. You got anything to add, my man?
You guys have a great day.
Happy Iranian New Year, by the way. Today is the Iran New Year. Happy Iranian New Year. It's the first day of spring, I believe, in their culture or their calendar year, because I think in their Iranian calendar year, they're still in like year 1400 something. So be on the lookout for Columbus. He's coming near you, 1400s. All right. Until tomorrow, folks, you stay savage, America.